Hey everybody, it's Dave Dugdale, learningdslrvideo.com. Today I'm testing out the new Alzo 3000 light. JP Morgan from the Slanted Lens may be aware of another light called the North Star light made by Photoflex. And it's like, I don't know, $1,200, $1,000, something like that, really expensive. Brian, who's actually right here, and you'll see later, Brian Brown from BrownCow Productions, is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, cool. He made me aware of another light, and that's the Alzo 3000, which we're using right now. So right now, we've got, it's being diffused by a large, like 50-inch diffuser, and I've got a reflector right here, and I've got two LEDs on in the back that I'll turn off here in a second. But so far, this is all being lit, and I've custom white balanced using just the custom white balance within the Canon camera. So right now I've turned off the 3/4 backfill and the hair light. So now all you're looking at is the Alzo 3000 going through a diffuser, and I've got a bounce. So my friend Jem Schofield, I just was doing some research on this light, and he actually reviewed it like back last summer. And he was like, this is an absolute steal for around $300. Depending, I've been on Amazon, it's like sometimes at $300, and then I think right now it's $360, so the price seems to be bouncing around. And when he was talking about it, we could get some discount, and it's like less than $300. All right, so now what we've done is we've taken it off of custom white balance, and we've actually gone to just regular daylight. We're not doing anything with the green magenta shift or anything like that. And I was really surprised. We just took a look at the footage, and it actually looks pretty good. I'm not seeing a whole bunch of green on my face. My flesh tones seem to be pretty accurate. In fact, it looked a little bit warmer. It looked a little bit better, perhaps. So I'm really happy about that. So I've been looking for a light like this for a really long time. One, because it's affordable. $300 for this type of light, for a 1K light that runs cool. 1,000 watt output is a pretty good price. And it's a hard light that you can easily modify. In the photography world, there's tons of softboxes you can use. There's like large ones, small ones. You can modify this thing in many different ways, which is just awesome. Right now, like I said before, we're modifying this with just a regular kind of scrim that you have on a reflector. And also, you can buy, what it comes with is a sock that you can put over the reflector dish. But you can also get optional barn doors, so you can really narrow the light down, and you can gel it really easily. They have these like magnetic type things that you can put in and take the gels in and out quite fast. And also, you can put grids on them, like a photography grid, like a 10 or a 20 degree grid, and you can really hone your light in just a certain area. So it's a really flexible light. Also, if you're traveling, like when I travel with my fluorescents, you kind of have to take the fluorescents out, and you have to put them in a separate box, and it's just a pain in the butt. And this one, you don't have to do any of that stuff. You just throw it in the case and off you go. All right, in terms of power, I put a kilowatt meter on each one. My fluorescents that I normally use, we used around 120 watts. I put a kilowatt meter on my halogen lights that I used to use years ago. It's a 1K fixture, and it came out at 920 watts. And then the Alzo was putting out the least at 100 watts, full open. If you put it one step back, it puts out 53 watts in terms of power that it's using. Now, in terms of lux, I have an iPhone app with a little dome that you can put on here that measures the light in terms of lux. I am not a mathematician in terms of lighting, but it's all relative. In terms of my Cowboy Studio or my Ephoto cheap fluorescent lights at 50 inches away, they were putting out 2,700 with no diffusion. Then my work lights were putting out 6,600 lux at 50 inches. All of them were at the exact same distance away. And then with the Alzo, turned all the way up, the thing was putting out 13,000 lux. So it was actually putting out more than my 1K work light halogen. And I don't know how that all works out. Again, I am not a lighting expert, but it sure seems like the Alzo, at least in that one pinpoint area where I was measuring, at that distance from 50 inches, it actually did better than all the other lights. All right, so now what we're gonna do is, a lot of people are concerned about the fan noise. And what we're gonna do now is, let me explain my setup. Out of frame right here is my Rode VideoMic Pro, and it is, if you want to know exactly, about 24 inches away, 2 feet away from my mouth, basically. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna be totally quiet, and then Brian is going to turn off the light, and you can see if it is at a, hold on, really quick, take that side of it. People are gonna ask how far away it is, because we're modifying the light. It is 80 inches away. And it might be closer if you've got like a softbox. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna be totally quiet, and then Brian's gonna turn off the light and see if you can hear it. All right, go ahead and turn it back on. That actually came on pretty fast. That came on within like maybe a second and a half.
You ever messed with HMI?
Because I know the North Star.
5 minutes between strokes.
Because I know that North Star light. I was watching JP Morgan do it, and it was like a 3-second, maybe 4-second turn on time. So that actually turns on faster. So that is the fan noise test.
Hi there, my name is Brian Brown. I have a company called BrownCow Productions, and I primarily shoot headshot interviews for corporate and nonprofit clients. And I have migrated my production kit, my lighting kit, to go from tungsten into a daylight balance source, primarily fluorescents, that by their nature are soft lights. And I really needed a hard light that was daylight balanced. And so I invested in the Alzo 3000 because it enables me to put snoots on it, and it enables me to gel it and provide modifiers to give me a kicker light, which would be where a shoulder's primarily exposed. It gives me hair lights for people unlike myself that actually have hair that can give you that third dimension. When you're interviewing primarily head and shoulders, you want to separate them from the background. And so the Alzo 3000 enables me to do with a daylight fixture what I could have done back in the tungsten days with a Fresnel or an open light tungsten source that by their nature are hard lights. Fluorescents by their nature are soft lights. And I'm happy with the Alzo that it has amazing output that we've discovered today. I haven't even been using it as a key the way that Dave has got me set up today. And we also discovered that the color temperature is favorable for skin tone. And I almost always gel my Alzo, mostly with a snoot just because it's very portable. I interview in all kinds of different places all year long, and I have to work from a setup in about half an hour. The Alzo 3000 is, like so many of these Chinese fixtures, are knocking off fixtures that are made by some of the higher end manufacturers. In this case, Westcott, Photoflex. And those sell well over $1,000 to give you 100 watts of LED that's equivalent to as we discovered, over 1,000 watts of tungsten. And these can be had for $300 and sometimes less if you get Alzo's 15% off coupon. This will be my 4th Alzo light, and construction-wise, you're not going to have a light that's the same build as a $1,300 light, so something's got to give. These lights, I believe, were made for strobe photographers to have a continuous light source, what we call WYSIWYG, when you can do these hair lights, backlights, kickers in a stills environment and see what you get instead of having to pop off strobes that would give you the shot that you're trying to achieve. And so the form factor is much like a monolight, like an Alien B or some of the higher end monoblock lights that are strobes. And that's why a lot of us are concerned about fan noise, because they weren't necessarily intended to capture what we call sync audio like we're doing now. And construction-wise, it's set up more like a monolight strobe light than a continuous light. And hence, the modifiers that we use on them, it has the 3-prong Bowens mount, which is actually a good thing because the stills photo industry has made beauty dishes available to us, softboxes available to us, barn doors, and snoots is primarily what I use on mine, and maybe we'll get some B-roll that show this being modified. Metal construction primarily. The lights are not user replaceable, and sometimes that's caused concern, but supposedly get 50,000 hours out of this, which is just years and years of continuous runtime. Other folks have modified theirs against warranty, they won't be able to have a warranty situation, to put quieter fans in them to use to record headshot interviews as a key. So I'm not concerned about the build quality. I take my gear all over the country sometimes, but I take good care of it. I put it in nice Pelican cases and that sort of thing. It might not be something you'd want to bang around.
All right, this is the next day. Actually, I had to put my shirt back on because I didn't want to skew the test. What I'm going to do right now, and I'm on using fluorescence, and I'll put myself right next to myself, and the old Alzo self from yesterday will be right next to me. And what you'll notice with this, and these are both custom white balanced, and so that kind of takes away some of that green shift. But you'll notice that the Alzo, to me, looks a little bit more, because green and yellow are right next to each other on spectrum. It's kind of between green and yellow. That's my best guess is what's happening. And I tried, and what I'll do is I'm going to snap my fingers, and when I do, I'm going to skip over to speed grade on the Alzo to correct for some of that. So right now, the Alzo is corrected using speed grade, the best of my ability for right now. And I'm going to snap back. So now it's back to its normal, just custom white balance and nothing. And right now, so both of these, I've done nothing to in post. I haven't crushed the blacks. I haven't done any sort of correction on either one of these. I wanted to talk about the fan noise because I listened back on that as well. And it was definitely noticeable. And I'm more of an audio guy. Brian didn't seem to care so much. I mean, if you have background music going in the background of an interview, you're not going to hear it. But it was a little bit on the annoying side. And it's funny on the website, Alzo's website, it says like, produces 5 dB of noise or something like that. And I'm like, that's a kind of a bogus measurement. If you look at, normal fan manufacturers, how they list it, it's going to be like between 32, 35, 40 dB. There'll be some sort of dB rating, decibel rating, and just 5 dB doesn't make much sense. They should measure it like 1 meter away, the fan noise. But and as you could probably hear, I could definitely hear it in the recording when I stopped talking, which is not very cool. On Alzo's website, they talk about their light producing 9,000 lux, and we got 13. I was probably, I don't know, because I don't know if that was with the dome reflector on, the dome reflector off, because with the dome reflector off, it was doing 6,000 at 50 inches. And I'm guessing they did it from a meter, which would be 36 inches, which might come out 9,000. And the next time I test, I'll be a little bit more scientific about this because we were kind of in a rush. We only had a few hours trying to test all these different things. So what I'm going to do next time, and these are all relative adjustments. It doesn't have to be super accurate. I was just curious which one was brighter. And we were only measuring it right in the center. We weren't measuring where it falls off and all that other stuff. So what I'll do next time is I'll have the same exact softbox. I'll do it on the Alzo and the North Star. And what I'll do is just leave the camera at the exact same exposure and cut between the two of them, or have them side by side, myself side by side. You could see which one's lighter or darker and how it falls off. So I'll definitely do that. So sorry it wasn't super scientific yesterday. So that's pretty much it. The jury's out whether I'm gonna buy these or not. I'll do another review, and maybe I'll put an annotation right here of when I do that review, so you can definitely check it out. And if you're curious, I'll also put a link down in my show notes for a blog post that's like 20 pages long on a thread. It talks about fan noise and all this stuff on the Alzo 3000. You'll definitely check it out. It'll be on my blog post below. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.